suppose I should speak and make sure it works before I start doing commentary, right? Welcome, race fans, to the World Center of Racing Daytona International Speedway in the beginning of the 2024 Busch Bonanza season. We will have a pair of dual races before the main 300-mile race today. These dual races are for the cars not locked in from drivers' points last season. Top 20 were locked in. That did not actually get us to 20 cars because a number of drivers have moved on. We're going to see a lot of new drivers and some old drivers in new places as we begin a new season. Don't worry, I'm just totally bringing up the driver list to make sure I don't get any names wrong. For our duels, the top 12 from each duel make it into the main race, and then a final driver will transfer in from the highest in drivers' points from last season to not race their way in. That basically locks in anybody that was, say, 21st in points, because there are, I believe, only 16 from last season that have returned. Command to start engines is about to be given as we start duel number 1. And the field rolls away, with the exception of the 73 car that is not moving. And the 18 of Frapporti has had an issue. Brand new driver, crawling through the dirt. Sounds like he's going to get the car at least to the pit lane, but that scuppers his chances pretty immediately. On the front row, we got Mark Guthrie and Philip Parker. We got Rebel Womack and Doug Spark. The 47 this season is piloted by Stefan Harding. New driver to that team, the team hoping for better results. They've managed to keep their sponsor with the promise of a better driver. 18 looks like it's going to the pits. Pace car comes in, duel number 1, about to go green, and we are green. Racing has commenced at Daytona, the first green flag of the Bonanza season. Off into turn 1 they go, building speed. The inside line, noses ahead. Bottom line pulling ahead, surging. A lot of new paint schemes, and because of the format for the first 5 races, where only the top 20 in driver points last season are locked in, we're going to see a lot of the new paint schemes in these qualification races for the first 5. Making the 300 is going to be very important to getting up into the top 20 points to make a charge for the season. Cars already falling off the back. We do have some weaker cars that, honestly, I don't know what to say. Daytona's just not a place where you can have a weak power plant. Parker all the way up at the top of the track. Doug Spark up there with him. 99 of, wow, why did I just totally space on David Baldinger? Trying to make a full season charge. Brand new Dark Horse Mustang. Tim Horton sponsorship on board. Slightly new paint scheme on that 40 car. Familiar colors, but a new name. We've got Ronaldo Scott in a car that last year won just about everything it could. Scott Drake behind him now, trying to charge his way forward. We'll put our standing tracker to show you. Like I said, 12th place is cut off. Ramaswamy currently in 12th. Good racing here at the front of the field. Phil Parker at the front, the Dr. Kelp number 79. Number of cars been dropped by the pack. That's not going to be good in a 20-lap race. They got very little chance to come back without an incident. '73 is done. The 18 did get back going, but is out of the lead draft and likely to get lapped before the end without a caution. So that's another driver that will need a caution to do something. Parker continues to lead. trying to stretch this train out. Harding right with him. Already looking better for this 47 team this season. Last two seasons, that Geico number 47 has been anonymous. So they're going to be ecstatic to see a new driver in the car that seems to be getting better results. He has built up a bit of a reputation in other series of being a bit of a hothead and a little aggressive. We'll have to see how that pans out throughout the season. Right now, doing just what he needs to do to get this thing into the show. Got Drake looking, not finding anything. Behind Drake in the 13, we've got David Courtney in the Cheez-It Dodge. New entry to the series for this season. And a sharp-looking car, if I do say so myself. As Baldinger gets past. So it looks like we've got a lead pack now. Sounds like they're starting to catch the 18. Out here with no draft, that's even the strongest car in the world. That's going to happen. Like I said, this season we're going to see a good number of new paint schemes. Seeing off the back of the field, not in shot right now, but right at the back of this pack, Molitor Hill, new paint scheme for that 66. Same sponsor. They just decided they needed a fresh coat of paint. Getting a lot of wind noise on my microphone. I do apologize for that. I really should maybe look into getting a more bespoke microphone setup or something. I don't know. Looking pretty strong for that 99 at the moment, too. That's a team that's struggled to make races in the past few seasons when they tried. Never really got the results they've been looking for. Here comes Doug Spark trying to work his way through. We got the 58. That is Matt Bontempi this year. Dwight York's moved to the 57. Bontempi in the V8 Splash sponsored machine. Unique colors on that one, purple and orange. You don't see a lot of that. 18 about to get caught here very quickly. 18, that is a new entrant as well, the Target Dodge. Open wheel star trying his luck in the stock car world. Luck was not great here. The team reported that there was a motor issue on the start. He immediately could tell something was off. They got into the pits and, well, red-faced crew members came back out onto the hood and realized that a bunch of plug wires were not actually attached. That thing was only running on maybe 4 cylinders. Much better to get that corrected than try to run out there on half power. He's now been caught and going a lap down. He's gonna need some sort of incident to get him into this race. You see Robbo Womack in the 49 Cobalt machine. Pair of Womacs in the 48 and 49 with Lowe's sponsorship. Lowe's deciding to spotlight Cobalt on the 49 this season. Doug Spark looking for the lead. So Mark Guthrie's worked his way back up here. 32 Nature Valley Chevrolet. Very distinct car. A lot of superstitious drivers say green cars are cursed, but we got Doug Spark up here. His car's pretty green, and that 32 is damn green. 79's got a lot of green on it, too. And Womack's going to make it 3 wide here on the bottom. Ramaswamy coming to the front. 23 car Brian Lowe moving forward. That team trying to do a little better than last season. Last season was a little disappointing for both of the Lows. So you see Van Buren and Hill have dropped out of this lead pack now. Bobby Farrell at risk of getting dropped next. Baron McComas about to be dropped out of the back of this group as well in the 2 car. He had some good runs last season, but didn't always capitalize. Coming up to the front now on the bottom, the 00 PDJ Zeller in the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Chevrolet. And McComas has been dropped. Bobby Farrell's been able to hold on. You see him back there looking for whichever lane's going to move forward for him. Still hasn't picked one. That's Ramaswamy to the lead. See the 10 car peeking into our view. The number 10, Oscar Ortiz in the Box Factory Ford. This lead draft is down to 16 cars. 4 of them will not make the show as we are past halfway. The 18 car is 1 lap down, having had an issue early on, motor related. Wasn't running on all the cylinders. Quick fix, but has cost him really any chance here. He's going to need a caution and a bunch of cars wiped out. With a pack like this, that's not inconceivable. Ramaswamy leads, Armstrong right on his bumper. Scott Drake going to make it 3 wide looking for the lead. Some of these guys getting really aggressive. I mean, it's good to figure out what your car will do before the 300, but if you get crashed here, you won't be in it. See how quickly McComas is falling off the back of the field. The draft, very powerful at these super speedways. 18 may not actually be at full song. He was holding with the pack, but I think he's getting dropped now. They may be just babying that thing. As the motor blows up from having run without all the cylinders sparking. That's going to be completely game over. And at this point, being a lap down, being in this pack where the most likely wreck is, maybe not for the best there, so they may have him half throttle now. Just try to bring the car home and see what they can hope for. Although he's hanging there again. Look at this 3 wide action in the middle of the pack. Love this long shot down the backstretch, watching him fan out. Searching for where all the good air is, searching for a run. They can't all find it though. So this season, you will observe we have some new bodies to the series. In this pack already, we've seen the new Dark Horse Ford Mustang for 2024. Some refurbed old Monte Carlos SSs have shown up, one of them leading the way right now. Don't see one in this pack, but we will see some new Toyota Camrys popping up here and there throughout the season. Some older Dodge Chargers have been brought back in as well. Starting to see a little bit more variety again in the Bonanza series. Old and new, mixing it up. Six laps to go. Parker coming back to the front. This is probably a good time to be going forward. Like I said, 4 cars in this group will not be, well, technically 5. 4 of the lead lap cars in this group will get eliminated, assuming they were not the one that will get in on points. Like I said, top 20 in driver's points are always locked in. First 5 races of the season goes to last season's points. Not all of those drivers are attempting. The math works out to 12 cars from each duel, and then 1 additional will be added as the highest in points from last season to not make it through. Basically means if you're 21st in points, because of the way that works out, that you're basically guaranteed. Guys behind you, though, might like to see you get in so they can use that guaranteed spot. And some of these guys that are off the back of the field are going to be very curious to see how it goes, because I've seen some teams in this race pretty good last season that they lost the draft quick. Such as the pace of R&D, apparently. Or what happens when you can't afford new engines. Whoa! Got 3 leads. Courtney behind him, then Parker and Harding on the inside. Now they dice a little bit. Courtney's going to get shuffled. Laps ticking away. It's time to be going forward, gents. Parker surges ahead again. One of the very few Chevy SS's in this field. We don't see many of those in Bonanza anymore. Tell you what, that Geico team's got to be happy with what Stefan's been able to do with the car so far. A lot more TV time just in this duel than that car got all of last season. 3 laps to go in duel number 1. 58 fading off the back of the field. We might see a couple of these guys really trying to get a run, or are they just trying not to get dropped? Courtney jumps to the inside. Ramaswamy looks down there with him, but there's just nothing. Well, Nigel might have gotten a run. Nope. Sometimes that camera angle can be a little deceiving. Here they come into the tri-oval. 2 laps to go at the line here. Guthrie looking for the lead. If you're not going forward now, you're going to be in trouble. Bottom line forming up, trying to get into a formation where they don't have to worry about pressure from behind. Spark looking on the bottom. Stefan gives him a block. Spark's going to look a little bit lower. Drake behind both of them, not really picking one or the other. They try to motor past Parker. Sparks committed to that double yellow line for the moment. Trying to charge his way forward. White flag. Last lap in duel number 1. 58 hanging at the back there. The 10 fading off the back. Bad timing for that. Got to be in the top 12 here at the line. Doug Spark just trying to figure out what he's got to try to win this duel, it looks like. The 10 has lost the draft. Ooh, a check up on the bottom. Coming off of turn 4, checkered flag. Guthrie's going to win the duel. And it's going to be a photo for the transfer spots from the look of it. Well, maybe not. Hang on. Let's see where it was scored. Transferring Guthrie, Courtney, Spark, Parker, Harding, Drake, Ramaswamy, Womack, Scott, Armstrong, and Farrell. Baldinger just missing out. Zeller missing out. Bontepi missing out. And the 10 car of Ortiz that lost the draft. Also off the back, McComas. Almost got caught there. So Hill was off the back. Augusta off the back. McComas. Van Buren. Curtis Griffin off the back. 52 of Busch did not make it. The 63, Gene Stapleton campaigning that this year, did not make it. The 88 of Ironheart failed to make it. The 93 of Grove, not transferring through. The 18 of Fraporti, 1 lap down. The 73 of Jared Shadle didn't even make the start. That car failed and had to be pushed off the grid. Duel 2, cars rolling to the grid now. And Duel 2 rolling off Frank Womack will be your pole sitter. We got Aaron Cummings alongside him, and everybody rolled off the grid for this one. Second row, we see the 33 of Ken Joint. Reigns in the 86. Got the 3 of Cowgill. The 01 of Mark Herron. The 90 car, that is Bernard Persson this season. Then we've got Connor Germain in the Chili's Ford. Some of the new faces up at the front. And some old faces too. Some cars with new drivers, some brand new cars. Pace car is going to peel off. And we're going to turn them loose for duel number 2. Green, green, green. 20 laps, top 12 make it, just like the first. Womack surges ahead. Cowgill jumps to the bottom of the number 3 Public Storage Chevrolet. Made the comment on the 58 that you don't see orange and purple very often. Well, here's another orange and purple car. Is this a new trend starting, or is it an eyesore that won't last very long? The fans at home and time will decide that one. Field already starting to break up. Yep. Field already starting to break up. Sheldrick off the back, as is Bev Fresh and Brian Phillips. Those 3 cars already off the back. They don't look to be alone. Looks like Hawkins is fading as well. The field really spreading out in this race. Womack looking real strong here for the first 2 laps. We'll see if the field forms up and gives him a challenge. A lot of Chevrolets at the front of this one, but a handful of Fords. One of the new Toyotas, number 51, the Waffle House Toyota. Lead pack already down to 15 or less. It's going to be an interesting season with this much spread in the field, perhaps. We'll have to see how that shakes out. This may just be indicative of the bigger tracks, that the short tracks performance may not mean as much. So we get a little dicey at the front here. Getting a good look at that 33 car. Plastered with Surgeon General warnings. The only way they were going to allow that sponsor in the field is if the car itself had a Surgeon General warning on it. I believe it's got maybe 5 of them. This lead pack really, it's top 3 stretching out. Lead pack's down to 15 cars, and I don't think there'll be 15 cars next time around. See Kevin up here. Kevin's pretty well guaranteed in. He was pretty high in points, just not high enough to breach that top 20. Sat right there on the outside all season. I believe he finished season 21st or 22nd. So he's pretty comfortable to get in with that points transfer, but would other teams would prefer if he didn't have to do that so that they can use it. As the lead pack is now down to, well, looks like 13, maybe 14 cars. Maybe these guys just need to ride and be smart and do a little experimentation, but no need to get crazy here in a field getting to be this small at the front. Kevin coming forward. This lead pack is very fractured compared to Duel 1. That Lowe's machine is just very strong here at the front of the field. We'll have to see if he carries this strong of a car into the 300, because I don't want to call it, but it looks like he's going to make it, as long as nothing dumb happens here. Aaron and Calgill coming behind him. A one Energizer machine. That's a sharp race car out there on track. Got the 90 Bernard coming in that number 90 Monte Carlo SS. Ooh, lays a block on Cummings there. Scott Deutsch, 16, new sponsorship Jack in the Box for that driver. His first attempt full season in this series, he's already lost the draft. This lead group is 13 cars. And the last three are just holding on. At the back there, we've got Jim Fitzmaurice in the 69, the 41 of Ramondre Diggs, just holding on back there. And who was the other one? Was it 59 car? That's going to be Jim Gunk taking over for Tony Gunk this season in the 59 machine. Looking to get some good finishes like Tony did last season. Can't wait for Tony Pizarro to tell me I pronounced all of these new names wrong. Fitzmaurice starting to fade off the back here. If this becomes a 12-car pack, then these guys just need to be smart. Go drive with your heads. Jermaine really hanging in here. That's a good run for that driver. He's had some hit or miss rides in the past, but looks like this is a good car for him. It's going to be the kiss of death. I just guaranteed that he doesn't make the feature, didn't I? Fitzmaurice coming back to him now. Or at least getting some help back there. Is anybody going to challenge Womack for the lead here, or are they all pretty happy to ride knowing that only one car in this lead pack is getting eliminated? Getting very single file at the front, and then they fan out as soon as the commentator mentions that here comes Cummings looking forward. Cummings, long-time regular in NORL racing, giving it a go in Bonanza this season. I think Fitzmaurice is about to lose this draft and make it so that as long as you stay in this lead draft, you're going to make the feature. But I've called him off the back a couple of times, so we'll see. We're in the second half of this one. Nah, they've unhitched that 69. He's going to be way off the back by the time we come around. I'm making the prediction. That's your lock! Click. Yeah, definitely. Oh, actually, I have something that'll make a locking sound. That's your lock! Try it again. That's your lock. Yeah, that 69's unhitched from the back. Womack continues to lead. That didn't sound like a lock. It just sounded like something went thud as I hear it on the playback. So Fitzmaurice, we're down to a 12-car lead draft. That's going to take a lot of emotion out of this. These guys just need to not do anything dumb and keep the draft, and they're all in. They may let Womack lead flag to flag. Doesn't really matter. You could figure out a little bit about your car here, but don't do anything stupid, guys. Because the question you got to ask yourself, to quote some famous old V8 supercar commentary, can we afford a crash? And the answer is no. Front looks a little single file. Cummings jumps out on the 56. That is Brandon Cruz Monteservis. I don't think I'm saying that right. I might just start calling him Brandon Cruz. I need to get a pronunciation guide for some of these new driver names that are not in my dialect or wheelhouse. We are catching some lap cars. That could get interesting, especially as we have 4 starting to fade off the back here. And they are side by side in front. We've got Fresh and Phillips side by side. This could get weird. And they've caught him. They're going to try to push Phillips on clear and then go by him. Ooh, Cowgill coming with a run on Womack. Womack might lose the lead to this. And the 4 that were fading off the back are going to come with a screaming run as Womack gets shuffled. Cowgill goes to the lead, coming off of turn 4. It's going to be 5 to go at the line. And first lead change in duel number 2, Patrick Cowgill to the lead. Lead pack a little broken up here. Kevin leading that second group, trying to pull up on the back of this. I think they're punching a big enough hole that they should be alright to pull up here, especially if they go 3 wide at the front. Everybody wants to lead now that they've broken the grip of Frank Womack. Rain's getting shuffled all the way up at the wall. Here come Kevin and Connor, fast on the bottom. Gonna get cut off though. Gunk gonna try to get right here with him. Diggs is hanging on. Don't think we're gonna lap anybody else though. Here comes Womack muscling his way forward. 3 wide on the bottom. He's not stopping. Here he comes, looking for that lead back. He doesn't want to let all that time and then not win this thing, even if it is just a qualification race. And Frank Womack powers his way back to the front. Three to go here at the line. 3 more laps. Honestly, looking in the back for those cars we just lapped, there they are, way back there. So Womack's gone back to the front. He's been the dominant car. I don't know that anybody has anything for him here today. We'll have to see if he can carry this dominance into the 300. Like I said, I think I'm going to call it a lock for him to get in. We got 2 to go, short of a crash. Everybody in this group will be in. A crash or mechanical failure. Everybody in this pack will make it through. This is the top 12. I could run through them, I suppose. We got Womack up front. Right behind him now is Ken Joint. Then we got Bernard Person, Connor Germain, Kevin Corbett, Aaron Cummings, Brandon Cruz Monteves, Rains, Patrick Cowgill, Mark Huron. Who else is back there? camera pan, and I didn't see who was running behind him. I think we got Jim Gunk back there. Ramondre Diggs. Is that everybody back there? I think that's everybody back there. White flag. 1 lap to try to win this qualification race. Just bragging rights on the line at this point. Don't crash is the only thing these spotters or crew chiefs are going to be screaming at these guys. Bring the car home in this pack, and we're through. Here comes Bernard. That's a big gap for Womack. It's going to give a big run to the 90. Here comes Jermaine. Jermaine, are you going to work with the 90? Or are you going to go about it on your own? Bernard not getting a big run at all. Womack stretching away with it. Here comes the 90, but I think this run's coming too little, too late. Off a turn 4, checkered flag. Duel number 2 is going to wrap up. No drama in this duel. Everybody in this lead draft makes it through. Eliminated is going to be, barring one of these, one driver that I'm going to list from one of these two did get through. We'll find out when we get to the points table. But Fitzmaurice, Stello, Barber, Deutsch, Rodriguez, Hawkins, Sheldrick, Ferrer, Jackson, Stumpf, Rain Butterworth, Seb Alexander, Isaac Groth, Phillips, and Fresh. Did not make it the conventional way. So let's see. Who is your field going to be for the Daytona 300-mile race for the NORL Busch Bonanza? Who was the one that gets in on points? Let's read your starting grid. On the pole, Frank Womack. Starting alongside Mark Guthrie. Philip Parker, 3rd. Adam Beresford in 4th. Tommy Davis, 5th. Mike Carroll in 6th. Aaron Cummings, 7th. Ken Joint, 8th. Dave Daniels, 9th. Rains in 10th. Robbo Womack, starting 11th. Doug Spark in 12th. Jared Mogard and Cheeseman, 13th and 14th. Mark Heron and Patrick Calgill, 15th, 16th. Joe Polson, Bernard Person, Stefan Harding, Connor Germain, Joe Mersdorf, Nigel Ramaswamy, Jackson Vatcher, David Courtney, Brendan Cruz, Muncie Evis, JT Armstrong, Broderick Whitman, Jim Gunk, Scott Drake, Ron Stout, Kevin Corbett, Scott Drake, Stephen Davis, I don't know where I got Scott Drake, Ronaldo Scott, Tony Dunto Jr., Jack Painter, Dwight York, Ramondre Diggs, Stephen and Brian Lowe, Bobby Farrell, Ben White, and Gene Stapleton is your starting grid for today's race. 300 miles set to go. We are waiting for the command. The commentator is going to top off his beverage. start for the first points race of the season 2024 for the NORL Busch Bonanza Racing Series thing. That gives you an idea of what kind of series this is. I don't know what will. Field takes to the banking. A little bit of haze in the air today. But we expect to get all 120 laps in today. Frank Womack was very dominant in his duel. Only lost the lead when he caught lap traffic. But a lot more cars on track for this race than what we saw for the duels. A number of cars that didn't have to run in duels because they were locked in on points from last season. You see one of those on row 2, that one car was locked in, and then that whole third row. Slightly new paint scheme this season for Tommy Davis in the 78. They kept the overall design, but did a couple of tweaks. I think it really is a sharp-looking ride. Working through 4 on the pace lap. Pace car is cleared for the pit lane. We are going to get a green flag this time around. Field bunching up. All 42 cars ready to go. The pace car peels away. Starter with the flag in his hand. And the 2024 season has commenced. Big jump for the 48 car. And he's going to lead him off into turn 1. Speed slowly builds. Field surging behind him. Parker right on his bumper here now. 2 of them stretching a car length on Cummings. Field fanning out 3 wide back behind. And the first lap of the season goes to Frank Womack. We already have a few cars that have straggled off the back. He's really only noticeable in the longer shots here. That's why I said we don't really have any threat, but wanted to address on those cameras. We see Stapleton and Ben White already off the back. Those cars don't even sound right. They don't sound like they've got the same power as everybody else. And we got Womack side by side. Cummings goes to the lead. And Cummings will lead a lap. We're going to go 3 wide here at the front. Oh, we got one blowing up in the middle of the field. Who is that? It is the 57 car. Last season that would have been Inkman. This season, the 57 driven by Dwight York has just lost a motor on the 3rd lap of the season. Will that car get back around? Are we going to see a yellow for this? Officials are indicating we might get a caution flag. Failure on that thing. I think we deserve a caution. You know what? I don't care if y'all know that I threw it. That car didn't make it back around. Yellow is going to come out just as they pass start finish, so they will race back. Be completely unfair to leave the oil on the track. Should have thrown the yellow sooner. So first caution will be for a mechanical issue. 57, I don't even think made it back around. Completely unfair to the guys also that got shuffled trying to run him over. Here comes Dave Daniels in the Binford Ford Mustang. I think that's Dave Daniels, right? Yeah, that's right. And the caution will be out here. 3 wide. Oh, we got a car in the wall. Polson in the wall. Well, we were going to get a caution anyway, it looks like. Joe Poulsen all tore up in the tri-oval. What just happened there? So we already had a caution out for the 57 of York losing a motor. What happened here? Did we get 4 wide? Oh, he pinched. Oh, Bravo got a chunk of that. That could have been much worse, but let's see who all got a substantial piece of that. We're going to go up to the blimp. He's just going to pinch Davis into the wall. The 49 hits him pretty hard. Cheeseman's going to get whacked. Don't know that anybody else really got too involved in that. Caution is out for the first time. Initially for a blown motor and then for an incident as we took the yellow. The 07 trying to get back into his spot as we're going to come around to an open pit lane here for the first chance at pit stops of the season. Philip Parker leads. Expect to see just about everybody in here. And it does look like everybody's going to come in for this first chance to pit of the season. Parker comes in as the leader, comes to a stop. Fuel going in. I think they're going to... Got tires going on the 03, but no tires for Parker. He is away again. Parker will win the race off of pit road. Here come the rest of them. Oh, contact between Heron and Gunk. And that's... yeah, that didn't look good. And Gunk ends up having to get pushed around. The car was immobilized briefly. That might be a big detriment for that crew. It may not be very good for the Heron crew either. The 57 done for the day. That engine was not salvageable. We're going to see if Gunk loses a lap here as they try to figure out what's wrong with this car. And Gunk is going to lose a lap here. Did not see the 01 come back into the pits, so they must have gotten a look at that from the top of the grandstand and be happy with it. Light's still on the pace car, so Gunk's got another lap of caution to try to sort this car out and get it going. That song is stuck in my head. Look at those skid marks up against the wall. We are here in Daytona for the Daytona 300 for the NORL Busch Bonanza, working our first caution. 57 car blew a motor, and then there was an incident coming back to the yellow flag. 57 is done for the day. For those of you who are still thinking that's Steve Inkman not driving the 57. It is now Dwight York running that car for the season. 007 is still Joe Polson. He was the most heavily involved in the incident. Potential damage to a handful of other cars, including Raybo Womack. We'll have to see on the green. Incident on pit road between Jim Gunk and Mark Herron has left this Gunk car sitting for a couple of laps now. And it looks like that car is going to end up 2 laps down already. Lights just went out on the pace car, so we're looking at a green flag the next time of asking. Philip Parker leads, Patrick Cowgill, then Stefan Harding, Aaron Cummings, Frank Womack, Dave Daniels, Doug Spark, Broderick Whitman, Brendan Cruz Monsevis in the 56, I want to make sure I get the right name, and Joe Mersdorf are your top 10. As we watch Jim Gunk here in the car given up by Tony Gunk for him to go extravaganza racing. It's a long sit for that car. One car formerly out of the race, like I said, the 57 of York blew a motor. Officials threw a caution as they were coming back to take the caution. Polson got himself in an incident. Did involve Tommy Davis, among a handful of other cars. We'll have to see how that affects any of the chances of those drivers involved. Alright, here comes the field off of turn 4. Pace car is going to peel away, and we're going to turn them loose again, and we're going to see what happens. Pace car is in. Green, green, green. Field comes up to speed once again. They spread out in the midfield up at the front. Ooh, everybody had the same thought at the same time. Field really stretched out by this restart. We'll see how they bunch back up as they get 3 wide up at the front. Harding on the bottom, push coming from Spark. Doug Spark looking for the lead. He's not going to get it. Cowgill's going to lead that lap. And now Daniels in the Binford machine looking for the lead. Field looking angry, like they think there's 10 to go, not that we're 10 in. .007 does look a little wounded, fading back through the field now. And Womack not looking anywhere near as dominant as he was in his duel. We got a couple of cars going to the pit here. Sounds like they were penalties, loose lug nuts, that they were hoping to get overturned. Mistakes on the first pit stop, not a good way to start the season. Here comes Mersdorf, looking for the lead. Field kind of broken up here. The pit stops probably had something to do with that. We see a couple of stragglers off the back. I don't know if they're going to come back to this. A lot of movement from that 51 machine. Mersdorf looking for some bonus points. He wants to lead a lap. Ooh, that was close. Who are they going to score it for? Mersdorf leads it by nothing. Jesus, I keep breathing into the fucking microphone. This microphone needs a muff on it, I guess. What a packed up, angry group of race cars. There are cars off the back that are way off song that they're gonna catch. Still 3 wide. It looks like a pace lap at Indy here. Who scored with the lead? Hey, Daniel's got that one. Mersdorf starting to edge ahead. Got Person behind him. Bernard trying to push him forward. Kevin back behind him. Kevin alongside his teammate Doug Spark. His pack is starting to grow. The stragglers behind are starting to make up on him. Make up time on him because of the big hole. They're catching the 83 car here. Nobody can get an advantage, though. That lap car is going to get run over. Oh, boy. This is going to get ugly. Here we catch the lap car, and he's going to go straight to the high side and back up the third lane. Bottom 2 lanes are going to be okay here, though. This might actually calm this pack down if it's done right. See Painter in the 7 car. Coming quick. He picked up some meme sponsorship. We don't know who's putting the money forward for that one, but the team said, hey, the check cleared, we're going to take it. We got Courtney coming out of the pits ahead. They had an issue with the car. I think they've got it sorted, but he's going to lose a lap here now, too. Oh, look at him getting dicey here in the middle of the field. Leader just caught that car at a bad spot. Ooh, big lift. And look at that. Parker to the back of the field, just like that. Batcher, we'll see if he stays with this group or if he falls out of the back of this pack. 13 trying to build up speed. Cruz going for the lead. Now Guthrie fighting him up there. Guthrie to the lead. Guthrie going to the lead. And Jack Painter up to second here. Gonna be put 3 wide in the middle, though. Really sharing the wealth, though, of who gets the lead. Look at Doug Spark trying to find his way through these lap cars. 13 looks to have a little bit of body damage somewhere. I don't know where he picked that up at, but that's not going to help him. Daniel's in trouble here. Cheeseman, who had the unscheduled stop, getting ready to get caught. Yeah, 13, the 83 going out of the back of this group. We'll have to see if the 55 stays with it. Oh, he just nearly caused a crash there. Look at this pack, though. Like, there's no way they can keep this up. Second group's formed back there. The 49's going to the second group. The 007's back there as well. So some of the wounded cars have found cars on their speed, at least. Stefan Harding trying to work his way back to the front of this pack. He's got Tommy Davis with him. What a group of cars we got here. Jared Mogard with new Burrito sponsorship going to lead a lap. Almost immediately really good shuffle up here at the front of the field. Let's cast our gaze up here. We got Cummings coming for the lead. Doug Spark and Stephen Davis up behind him. Look at that, Frank Womack coming back to the front now. Got a little shuffled, but he's got a really strong race car. He showed that in his duel. Womack goes for the lead. Look at him just stretch out ahead of these guys. It's going to take something special to beat that car. '15 and '51 nearly got together there. Somebody's just had a problem back there, and I think it was Kevin. No, Kevin's still going. It's the 01. He's had some sort of failure. Oh, and he's going to get turned! We got a crash. Yellow's going to come out for this. And that car is stopped, and he's going to get smoked by the 23. That was one of the lows. That was Brian Lowe. Caution is going to be out for that. Racing back to the caution. Womack is going to be the leader at the caution. Let us see what happened there. So, Mark's going along here. Something broke. Something broke. That car, let's get it on board. That car, I think, just laid down at the trial, somewhere in the trial here. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it just gave up. He's trying to get to the apron, but there's just not a gap. He's trying. Guys are trying not to run him over, and he's just going to get hit here. As he tries to slow, like he just needed to be decisive here. Cruz gets him. Cheeseman clips him. I smack the microphone, and he's going to come to a stop here. And a big hit. Massive impact there. Let's get an onboard from that 23 machine. I have a hunch that he didn't get a good sight of what was happening up here or something. So he's back here in a small group. He's on the bottom. He sees the smoke. He goes low. He just couldn't get the car down here. Very lucky not to get anybody else involved in that, but that was silly. He didn't. I don't want to critique the driving here, but because I don't know what else he's going to do. You see smoke. You see cars going up the track. He goes low. He just couldn't keep the car down there. And makes heavy impact. Pits are open. We're going to see pit stops for a second time of asking. I think we got some mixed strategy here, though. I'm going to correct myself. Looks like it was lap cars staying out, as they are required to do. Womack will win the race off of pit road. So we're under second caution this time. An incident after the 01 had some sort of mechanical failure, got clipped, turned around, and clobbered by the 23. I don't expect to see the 01 or 23 continue in this race, but we'll see what happens here. We've got a handful of cars a lap down. Jackson Vatcher down a lap. John Cheeseman's last lap. He's picked up damage somewhere. Where did the 55 pick up damage? do that in the pits? Oh, I know where he picked up the damage. When the car laid down, I think he was one of the ones that got involved in turning him. Oh, he clipped him as he turned him. Okay, so that's where the 55 got damage. He was already down a lap at that point. 13, David Courtney down a lap. Ken Joint lost a lap, and Jim Gunk lost 2 after a pit road incident. And the 01 and the 23 are officially out of the race. Those drivers will be making a trip to the care center. Hopefully we'll hear good things. That was an ugly impact. Let's get you a running order here. Frank Womack leads. Dave Daniels second. Then we've got Doug Spark, Patrick Cowgill, Philip Parker, Tommy Davis, Bernard Person, Connor Germain, Aaron Cummings, and Mark Guthrie, your top 10. Going a little further back, then we got Stephen Davis, Mike Carroll, Stefan Harding, Adam Beresford, Jared Mogard, Joe Mersdorf, Scott Drake, Broderick Whitman, JT Armstrong, Ramondre Diggs, Jack Painter, Ron Stout, Kevin Corbett, Rains, Tony Dumpto Jr., Ben White, Stephen Lowe, Ronaldo Scott, Joe Polson, Brandon Cruz Monseves, who was involved in the incident, Gene Stapleton, Nigel Ramaswamy, Bobby Farrell, and Rabo Womack is all the cars on the lead lap, and the 55 has also now been retired from the event. So John Cheeseman has joined the casualties so far in the race. That leaves 4 cars out of the race. And that'll leave us with 38 running. So we come around to complete the 24th lap of 120 in the Daytona 300 from the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. Lights are out on the pace car. We're going to get a restart the next time of asking. Going to have 4 cars lining up on the inside, laps down. At least 2 of them we know are not really on song, so that's be interesting to see how the field deals with them. Boom, 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 ba, ba. Don't know why I'm singing. So as we wrap up our second caution, we've had 2 incidents, both related, oddly, to mechanical failures in a roundabout way. The first one, the 57 car for Dwight York, failed on him. Yellow was thrown for that, and as they raced back, Joe Polson got himself turned in the tri-oval. The second one, Mike Huron, who had had an incident on pit road earlier in the race. Car just laid down coming out of the tri-oval, and as he tried to get it checked up, he got spun. Yellow came out, and then he got clobbered by a car off the back of the field that committed to the low side and didn't have the grip or the room to miss him or get around him. Be going green this time. Got 4 cars lining up on the inside. Vatcher, Courtney, Joint, and Gunk laps down. Gunk is 2 laps down. He was involved with Huron in the pit road incident. Cost the 59 2 laps in the pits. Pace car is going to peel away. Pace car's in. Frank Womack going to take him back to green. Here we go. Green, green, green. Look at him getting 3 wide with the lap cars. Geez, that 13 just picked up a little bit of damage somewhere, and it's just not going to be a good day for him the rest of the time. '59's actually picking his way through these guys, but that 13 is a hazard. track. Look at them trying to filter their way around this thing. Really does sort of spread the field out a little bit here on the start as he cuts Tonto off. Jeez Louise. Can't be doing that. Look at how quickly they go around him. Wondering if that really is the slowest car on track now. I don't think it necessarily even is. I think we just haven't run green long enough for the guys that were way off the back to get lapped. Alright, well, the field's going to try to form back up here at the front. And shocker of all shocks, Womack leads. See if this field comes back together. It's been really strung out. Dealing with the lap cars will do that. Womack's looked really good since his duel. Continues to look strong here in the 300. Questions being asked now is, are we going to see any green flag pit stops? We keep getting fairly regular cautions in this event. Parker and Guthrie on the bottom trying to make a charge here on Womack. Don't quite get there to make the move there. But they are on his bumper now. The other group's not gaining anything now. Spark and Corbett back there trying to make something happen. Got Drake Stout and Merstorp with them, but they are not making time on the lead group anymore. I think they're going back to the guys behind them. Maybe they'll try to group something together and make a charge. So the top three kind of stretch away from the rest of the lead group. Here comes Guthrie looking on the bottom. He's going to move up to second. Yeah, we've got a bigger second pack forming. We'll see if maybe more cars gives them more speed. Or if they're just going to go back there and ride for a while and see what happens. We're past the 1/3 distance, correction, 1/4 distance. And Womack still looks real strong. I don't know who's got an answer for what he's got in that machine today. Second pack almost looks bigger than the lead pack now. Yeah, 63 and the 19 are off the back. 007 off the back. So we do have stragglers that aren't staying with either of these two groups. We've got two main groups running here at Daytona. Second pack, about 5 seconds back. Has some cars that really could be up here competing. They just didn't get lucky on the restart with where the slower lap traffic was. And now we've got Ken Joint coming forward. He is actually 1 lap down trying to get a lap back if something happens. He clearly has a good car. Really, nobody's got anything for Frank Womack. Doug Spark leading the second group. Checking to see if we had anything from the pit reporters of cars coming into the pits. Nobody's tagging up on there with any note. Jared's caught the 48 now. So you got anything for him? Here comes Davis. Starting to see some cars with some speed filtered towards the front again. See if we can't get them racy again. And we see Stapleton getting ready to get caught. It's not going to be long. See, that might check this group up, break them up, do something. Womack's got to be careful with how they catch the slower car. He cannot afford to get shuffled. He's got such a strong car. They go 3 wide for second. Stapleton made a move in the offseason. The car he had last season was hit or miss. This car does not look good today, as he goes down a lap and the field tries to split around him. Whoa, a little nervous there. And Carroll and Womack are going to try to break away now. And they might briefly break away, but I think this pack's going to drag them back. I see Ben White up there that they're going to be catching here as well. Ben not having a good day today at Daytona. Had a hit or miss season last season, but overall I would call it a success, but today not looking very successful. This has really stretched out the lead draft though. Let's say catch Ben White. Ooh, Mike, what are you doing? Womack has gotten by that just fine. The rest of the field hasn't. Mike Carroll's going to get turned into the middle of the field. This is going to pile him up. Jermaine in it, Harding in it. Jermaine upside down, flipping through the tri-oval. Caution on the speedway. Don't think anybody from the second pack has gotten involved. Oh, nope. Oh, we got more carnage. Philip Parker's around. What just happened? There must have been a secondary incident to this. There was cars that looked like they missed it got involved here. Parker's going to get together with somebody. He's down here in the grass. Oh, Daniels comes down, gets Davis, and around the cars start to go. Cowgill in it, Rains in it. Now, what did Parker do here? We should have been okay. Parker starts coming across the racetrack. And he gets Doug Spark and Cruz. Oh, he's going to get hit by a bunch of them here. Yeah, he got a ton of the field doing that. What was he thinking? So we've had a big incident now. Caution's out. Pit road's going to be open. We're going to have eliminated a number of cars from contention here. What a mess. This is what sometimes happens when you catch much slower lap cars. Ben White just sort of in the way. Pit road's open. Why is Ben White even pitting? He's not allowed to pit this time by. He's not on the lead lap. This could change the complexion for some of these drivers. Ooh, okay, a little bit of argy-bargy there. Ben White's actually going to beat the leader off of pit road. Mark Guthrie's going to take the lead. John Cheeseman done for the day. They found more damage on that car than what they think they can repair. Let's take another look at that incident. So it's already, the spin's already happened here. We see the 50 going up the track. Harding gets a big piece of it. Oh, yeah, the 15's going to clobber the 21, roll him up over Stefan's hood. He's going to turn over on his nose, whacks the 15 again. Going to get a clip here. Finally rolls back over at the commit cone and comes to a stop right at pit exit. And if the 79 had stayed on the apron, that would have been all of it. Let's see what Harding saw here. It's not going to be good. Alright, so we're bunching up. Yeah, he just... 78 clipped him and turned him around right in the middle of the field here. Big hit there, right into the wall. Gets turned around. You're going to see this car just come up over the top of us. We're pointed backwards. The gecko's fractured. Gets clipped again. And you see the second pack coming, and that's just... Yeah, let's see what Doug Sparks saw out of all this, because he's the one that the Parker car just took out. So, this group's off the back. Doug's back here, leading the pack. Just like, alright, oh, we got a caution. Car's going around. Probably should have lifted already. We see the carnage here. He's lifting. Yellow's out. He's slowing it down, slowing it down, slowing it down. Clean track, clean track, clean track. Here comes 79. Whack. And that's what took Doug Spark out of this race. So let's see. Out of the race now. John Cheeseman, we already knew he was out. Stapleton's out. Harding out. Parker, Spark, Cruz Montevez, and Mogart are all done. And I expect that we're going to see Connor Germain added to that list and they finish with the toe on that one. So we're going to see that list of retired vehicles likely grow. Yep, 21, as expected, is done. And we're going to line them up for a restart. For some reason, they're going to line the 15 up at the front of this field, and that... I don't know why we're doing that. So we're going to have a pair of lap cars at the front. The 19 has not been quick. So this is going to be a hairy restart. 50 is still rolling with a lot of damage. Top 10 as we run. Mark Guthrie, Frank Womack, Aaron Cummings, Dave Daniels, who has damage now. Tommy Davis, Jr., he has damage. JT Armstrong, Adam Beresford, Raines in the 86, Carroll with a lot of damage, and the 90 a person. There's a number of damaged cars still here in the top 10. We'll have to see what happens from that. This is good news for Gunk. It's helping him gain spots, but that means we've got 30 cars running now as we wrap up our third caution. This one for a fairly sizable crash. 21 took a wild ride after the 50 gets turned into the tri-oval. Numerous cars involved. And the secondary crash when a car that had a fairly simple spin decided to drive straight up the damn racetrack. The 19 was off song from the drop of the green. He's now sitting in front of the leader as tail into the lead lap. The 13's off song. The 83's not doing great, so this is going to be interesting. Very interesting. Pace car is going to peel away here. Pace car comes on in. Well, let's see how this changed the complexion of the race. Green flag. Well, Ken Joint's going to get his lap back out of this as Rabo Womack leaves the pits just now. Daniels coming on the bottom. Binford machine. Car has damage. And they scatter down the backstretch. And now JT, we got cars coming out on the bottom that actually have a chance to lead this thing. New leader, JT Armstrong. We're still stacked up behind lap cars at the front of the field, though. Gunk gonna get one of his laps for a hot minute at least. Womack trying to filter his way through. He's been a very strong competitor today. Aaron Cummings looking for the lead. Big push from the one car. And Beresford will lead the lap. Looks like they just about shuffled the slowest of the lap cars. 49's lost a lap now and is in this group. Battle intensifying at the front of the field. Cummings coming for it again. Aaron's going to look for it at the line, but he's not going to have the run at the right time. Side by side, two out there all by themselves. Here comes Davis. He was involved in the incident, but doesn't look like he picked up much damage. Is Frank Womack, though. Such a dominant car, you'd have expected to see him working his way much quicker to the front. Hasn't gotten there yet. Cummings will lead the lap, but he's going to lose it here almost immediately. Staying together a lot more than I would think. I think it's because we have so many slightly damaged cars now that are kind of dragging the whole pace of the field down a bit. Scott Drake loses the draft back there. That 90 car working its way forward. 32 looking for the lead. Womack's starting to filter forward now. I don't know if they want to let him get anywhere near the front of this field. Guthrie going to take the lead. Oh, Cummings wanted to close the door there, but there was a car in it. Bobby Farrell coming off the back of the field now. Field very stretched out the back, and here comes Frank Womack. Frank working hard here, trying to get to the front. Whoa! He got the run. Guthrie tried to slam the door, but he was in it. His foot was in that door. More cars coming unhitched off the back. Looks like Diggs and Corbett are falling off the back of this. Kevin did pick up a potential for some damage there in that Philip Parker shenanigans. So that may be hurting him, or maybe just couldn't get into the draft where he needed to be. He did have a lot to work through back there. And now that Womack's reestablished at the front, he's going to try to stretch this pack out. Fight really looks like it's for second now. That's the pace car. So 31 cars running. 25 on the lead lap. We've got 2 cars way off the back. Painter and Drake have substantially lost the draft. They're about a half a lap down as it is. Who wants a granola bar? It really does look like they're kind of racing for second behind Frank Womack today. Look, he's stretching the field out. We are approaching halfway, though. Still a lot of racing to go. A lot of things can happen here before the end. Oh, the 78's just blown a motor in the middle of the field. He's going to get it down to the apron. Not a good thing for Tommy Davis, though. He's watching everybody go by him. Is that car going to get back around? Do we have fluid on the track? Will there be a caution? These are questions that we'll find out and answer too quickly. I don't know that he's going to make it back around. No, that thing's not making it back around. Yeah, that needs to be a yellow. Caution out. And just in time for the 7, Rod Weston leads. Rod Weston. That's not Rod Weston. Jack Painter breathes a sigh of relief as he sees the caution come out. Everybody that was off the back of the field's going to get another chance at it here. Not good for the 78, though. Flagger vigorously waves that yellow flag for the last couple of cars coming around to take it. Scott Drake and Jack Painter are going to be saved from losing a lap here by this yellow for a blown motor from the looks of it on the 78 machine. So the pits will be open here, and I basically expect to see everybody coming down. So we are just shy of halfway. Pit road open, here they come. What is the 3 doing? You can't do that. What was that? And Kevin, going to the back of the line doesn't do you any favors. And the lap cars all come in. 78 is done for the day. They can't fix that one. I don't know what the 3 did there. I guess we could go back and look, because that certainly did not look like a pit stop. So did he... No, he pitted and then drove through the grass instead of doing pit road speed. You can't do that! What the... Like, okay, I'm not going going to be surprised if when we get to green that this car ends up coming back into the pits to serve a penalty. "30 cars still remain on the racetrack. So Ken Joint, Jackson Vetcher, Ben White, David Courtney, Rabo Womack, and Jim Gunk are all off the lead lap. 24 cars on the lead lap. 13 is having a long sit to think about it. Alright, lights out on the pace car. Gonna line them up. This restart will probably be a little more orderly than the last one at least. Gonna have a pair of Womacks near the front of the field here. We'll see if the 49 and the 48 work together. Won't be surprised if there's not much they can do together. Be just shy of halfway here at the restart. And we are green, green, green. Still curious if this 3 car is going to get a black flag. Look at how slow the 19 is on the get-go. The rest of these lap cars aren't too bad here. Getting a little anxious here, though. Really broken up, though, by where the 19 was in the field. .33's trying to get a lap back here. The 3's going backwards. Reigns, I believe, led that lap. They sure did. Here comes Guthrie to the front. The restart really broke the field up. This is a much smaller leading pack than we had before. And we have a caution. Caution on the speedway. There has been an incident behind this pack, most assuredly. I don't know where it was, but something happened. Let's see if we can find what brought out this caution. Pace car's already moving at this point. What has happened? Caution's out here. This has to be for debris. I don't see anything happening on track. Weird. Weird timing of a debris caution, too. Well, we're past halfway. Under caution once again, this one for debris. Mark Guthrie leads. Joe Mersdorf second. Stephen Davis, then JT Armstrong, Dave Daniels, Raines, Whitman, Bernard Person, Aaron Cummings, and Tony Tonto Jr. are the top 10. And into the pit lane comes the field. Frank lost a ton of spots there. Well, let's see if we can get some green flag running to the end here. It would be nice to get a restart, though, where the lap cars don't break the field up, but It's part of racing, isn't it? Lights out on the pace car. We're going to get them double file. Running order, Mark Guthrie, Joe Mersdorf, Stephen Davis, Roderick Whitman, Aaron Cummings, Dave Daniels, Bernard Person, Tony Tonto Jr., Patrick Cowgill, and Rains in the 86. Then we've got Stephen Lowe, JT Armstrong, Mike Carroll, Frank Womack, Joe Polson, Nigel Ramaswamy, Adam Beresford, Scott Drake, Ron Stout, Jack Painter, Ramondre Diggs, Ronaldo Scott, Kevin Corbett, and Bobby Farrell, your lead lap cars. 24 cars remain on the lead lap, 30 running. David Courtney's lost 4 laps after having some sort of weird incident that we couldn't quite wrap our heads around. Hopefully you all have been enjoying our coverage thus far from Daytona. Reminder that racing again next week from California in the Auto Club 300 from California. Then we will be going to Orange County for the Farmers Insurance 400. There'll be heat races for that. Then Rockingham for the Jiffy Pop 300, and then Atlanta for the Quick Trip 300. To round out our first 5 races and set the points for the rest of the season. After Atlanta, it will be this season's points that determine who gets in, so these 5 races are important. Pace cars in, green, green, green. Lap cars really doing a number on the field staying together, aren't they? Mark Guthrie with Ken Joint, they're going to try to break away here. I don't think it's going to work with those cars behind them. Ken screaming for caution. He's clearly got a good car here. Mark, that's not a smart move if I were you. I would not have jumped out there, because now you're going to get just eaten alive by the pack. Here comes the 90. Big run coming. I don't think it's quite big enough to get to Mark, but it was a big run nonetheless. Ooh. Ken thinking for himself here. If he can stay ahead of the leader and get a lucky caution. Here comes the 90. And he's going to push him clear. And Bernard's going to lead his first lap of the day. And look at that. Here comes Frank Womack towards the front. Can't even feign surprise that that would happen. Let's see, where's Frank going to go here? He catches the lead couple here. He pops out. Hey, Bernard knew that was coming. He popped out to sort of block the move coming behind him. But he's going to get put 3 wide.
New player.
Ahoy, hoy. Welcome to Daytona. And here comes Frank Womack looking for the lead outright. He's got the lead and he's going to pass the lap car.
Hello.
Welcome to the Bonanza race.
Oh. Speaking of Bonanza, we have come up with a new series.
Oh?
An online series.
Okay.
The Rockingham Challenge.
And that would consist of what exactly?
Official iRacing races at Rockingham.
Okay. Is there a Rockingham race every week?
No, it doesn't have to be every week.
Oh, okay.
It's
It's just
it's like
it's just the thing Tony does. Got it.
no, that was my idea.
Well, it is Tony's favorite track.
Well, that's why like here's the thing. When I think of you or John or Zach or me, I don't think of any tracks. When I think of Tony, I think of Rockman. So I feel like that's the track that we should start with. Um, and then I am only going to count points. Well, I would only count points of people who are in the extravaganza universe.
Okay. So if Jack Painter's randomly in one of those races, he scores points.
Yeah,
Okay. But he won't know about it.
correct.
It's a
He
secret
won't care at all.
championship that he will only know about if he stumbles across it in either this or some other video.
Exactly.
And if he stumbles across this, he's probably going to be really upset with the car he's running in Bonanza. But, you know, it is what it is.
He's gonna be upset he's in Bonanza. He feels like he should be in the Cup Series. He almost won a race.
Well, you know what they say about almost.
Not good enough.
Let's see. So we had a big crash earlier. Connor Germain flipped.
Nice.
It wasn't really his fault. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time when Mike Carroll got wrecked. Mike Heron got absolutely clobbered by Brian Lowe. And Doug Spark got killed by Phil Parker being, I'm just going to be diplomatic and call it a low IQ move by Philip Parker. He did whatever that guy did to Kevin Swindell, basically.
What happened to Kevin Swindell?
He just drove up the damn racetrack.
Oh.
Like, the 79 was in a spin, on the apron, started getting going, and just drove straight up the track in front of cars that were at a decent clip that had just taken the yellow, and got hit by like 6 of them.
So, for example, if we were to count Rockingham results from last week, Tony would be first in points with 164. Following Tony would be... Jeez, a long way until the next person I even know. I thought Foley ran one of these. He must not have done that good. Next would be me in second with 128. But neither of us ran Silver Crown there last week.
Test.
Because he doesn't have Silver Crown.
Because he sucks. You saw the exciting iRacing news, right? Oh, here we come to catch a lap car.
Oh, we're getting Oswego?
We're getting the dynamic weather, including rain, in the next build. They're splitting the road license between GT and open wheel.
Oh, I don't like that.
I don't know where that's going to put, like, prototypes. I assume they're going to go into the GT ladder, but... You don't like that? You don't think that it's good that you're in, like, if you ran an IndyCar race that doesn't have anything to do with your, like, MX-5 rating?
I think that's dumb. When are we going to get to having a rating for every series?
Yeah, that's sort of the stumbling block that can run into. Like, I like the idea on paper because, frankly, like, some people are really good in GT cars and not very good in open-wheel cars, so it either keeps them from running open-wheel, or when they run open-wheel, they're in splits that they're not competitive in. So I think, on some level, it might make some of those splits more competitive after, you know, a couple of weeks when, you know, the ratings kind of do what they're going to do. But... I don't know. I don't hate the idea. I'm kind of liking the idea. I just don't know how well it's going to be implemented and what they're going to consider. Like, I don't... Honestly, it's like stuff like the Radical and the prototype, like the GTP cars and stuff. That's like, where are those going to fit into that system? And apparently they have confirmed that one of the series that will support rain will have rain week 1. So you won't have to wait to get to, you know, do it in an official race that isn't a week 13 event. This pack has really just gotten broken up by slow lap cars, huh? I don't know that anybody in this pack has anything for Frank Womack. So 33 is a lap down. He would love to get to the front of this and have a caution come out, because if he gets around the field, he could be a contender. I tell you what, the ratings for Bonanza this season have created a lot more field spread. But we'll have to see how long it is before I just start nerfing cars because they're way too quick. Like, Frank Womack has been way too quick in both his duel and this race. Like, unless something happens to him, I think he's going to win this thing. We're down to 7 cars in the lead pack, and only 6 of them are on the lead lap. The 33 got caught a lap down. This could get interesting. The lap cars kind of, we have a couple of real shit-ass lap cars that have kind of screwed up all the restarts since they got lapped. So it's made it a little interesting. A lot of Chevrolets in the lead draft. Frank looks really strong compared to the rest of these guys. It might even like stretch this line out and break this pack down even further if he's not careful. They're catching a car up here. Let's see, I'm trying to think what else has been going on. I'm trying to think if there's any other news stories you wouldn't have heard about yet. Did you all enjoy the owl? Ooh, pass for the lead. Here comes Aaron. Maybe Frank's not as strong as we think. They're going to catch David Courtney here, and he's off song, clearly. Joint's starting to get dropped off the back of this group. Why did the outside lane lift? Oh, green flag pit stops. Just outside of 40 to go. I don't know if they can make it from here. Aaron and Frank Womack come to the pits. Under green. Looks like Scott Drake is in as well. These are early stops. I don't know if they're going to stay with each other either. trying to get back up to pace. Is he going to catch up to Aaron here? He should be close enough to pull up on him here. As Reigns loses a lap. Ken just needs a yellow here badly. But it looks like he's coming to the pits this time by. It's going to leave Mark Guthrie out here all by himself as the leader. This will be interesting. We're going to see if the lead group comes back together after this. I'm going to be skeptical. Oh, Alex, did I share a picture in the group chat of the shirt I bought? Yeah, Alex might have gone somewhere. Let's see, is Mark going to come in this lap, or is he going to keep going? Nope, looks like Mark Guthrie's going to come in here. Mark Guthrie into the pit lane. Very busy pit road here. Let's see how all this cycles out, I suppose. Alright, Mark's moving again. Oh yeah, Aaron and Frank are going to have a huge lead here, aren't they? Miles ahead from the looks of it. This is looking like it's going to be a two-car breakaway off the front, but fuel mileage might matter here. I don't know that 5 or 6... those laps might matter. These guys, I think, have to pit again. The last ones to come in might not have to. Womack back into the lead. They've got a 2.5 second lead. See if a pack starts to form behind him, perhaps. They got 3 behind them that are formed up, and that's really all that they see anywhere near them. Jeez. You know what they don't want to see? They don't want to see a debris yellow. Because I think, well, if I knew for sure that everybody had to pit, then yeah, they don't want a debris yellow. If they're going to be short on fuel, then maybe they do. Because being out here like this is all well and good if you're going to all run the same strategy to the finish. If you're not, then things are going to get messy. Yeah, even the group that's packed up doesn't seem to be gaining. Let's take a look around the track. So we got 4-car group here, with 1 car that's probably not doing very well, at least. Got a 5-car group here with a couple of damaged cars in it. Got these 2 running together. This isn't going to be a group very long, so the 19 is going to get shuffled out of it. These guys, I think, are trying to form a group. They might go catch the 90 and form a group that way. Or they might crash the 13 and make it not matter. So running order, Frank Womack, Aaron Cummings together, 4 seconds ahead of Mark Guthrie and Adam Beresford. Bernard Persson by himself right now with the group chasing him of Stephen Davis, Ron Stout, and Nigel Ramaswamy. Behind them, we've got a group consisting of Patrick Calgill, Joe Mersdorf, Reigns, and the lap car of Gunk. Then a group lapped car of Raybo Womack, Broderick Whitman, and JT Armstrong. Jackson Vatcher and Tony Tonto are together. Mike Carroll, Joe Polson, Dave Daniels, Stephen Lowe, Ramondre Diggs, and Jack Painter are together. Then behind them, Kevin Corbett, Scott Drake, Bobby Farrell, and Ronaldo Scott. Those are the groups on track. The duo of Guthrie and Beresford do have Ken Joint with them, and the 90 has just been joined with the Stephen Davis group. Let's see if these guys can start making any time. I'm curious, honestly, about is the group behind him. If that group behind him can get enough cars to start making any time. Like, this looks like it should be a big enough group to go somewhere. But I bet it's not. 23 seconds off the lead back here.
Member joined.
Ahoy, hoy.
Who's ready for NASCAR?
30 to go. Are there duels tonight?
Yeah, they're getting ready to start doing numero uno.
Oh, I'm running the Bonanza race. We've got 30 to go.
Now that'll end before the first duel's over.
Connor Germain got murdered.
Connor Jones?
No, Connor Germain.
Jermaine racing?
Sure. And then Philip Parker killed Doug Sparks' chances of a good finish, because Philip Parker is apparently thinks that Doug Sparks Kevin Swindell or something, because he just drove up the damn racetrack. How you been, Zach?
Oh, you know. Here, not there.
Interesting. I had an interesting discussion with one of my friends the other day where they're talking about how they hate Kyle Busch, and we're talking about he should be parked for this race and perhaps the rest of the season. And he said, yeah, what race was that? I'm like, that's when he wrecked Matt Crafton in a truck race. And my friend's like, oh, all right.
No,
Like,
that was Ron Hornaday.
when did he get in with Matt Crafton then? Didn't he have one with Crafton too?
No.
Hmm.
Crafton was always running second to him. But he should be parked for this race and the rest of the season. That was Hornaday, Fall, Texas, 2011.
Weird. Why did I think Crafton was involved in that? Did Matt Crafton wreck somebody recently? Is that what I'm thinking of?
But Nick Sanchez tried to fight after the race, but
Yeah, maybe
there
that's
wasn't
something
really anything on track to happen.
This is a weird race. Tony's ratings for the season have really opened up the field spread, and then you get a couple of cautions and some slow cars that restart up at the front of the field. It breaks up the field. Then a green flag
This
pit
looks
stop.
like the 2004 Daytona 500.
Well, we had a green
Yeah,
flag
like-
pit stop, and I don't know that Frank Womack and Aaron Cummings can actually make the finish. They pitted 5 laps earlier than everybody else. They pitted with 40 to go, and the last cars pitted with 35 to go. So it's like, I don't know. Kevin's about ready to get lapped, but Kevin has damage also because of Philip Parker. Philip Parker destroyed a bunch of cars by being stupid.
Meanwhile, pace cars in.
Boogly, boogly, boogity. Ooh, Aaron's going for the lead. Let's see, you saw the iRacing news?
Yes. A lot of news.
Yeah, I only saw
I think I got all of it.
I think I saw the 2 big parts. I don't know what else they announced because I really was more interested in the weather stuff and the license split.
There's a spa rescan coming.
Cool.
There's a 2024 spec update of the IndyCar.
Nice.
Trucks and Xfinity are getting a physics update, as well as artwork update too at some point.
Alright.
Uh, Millbridge Speedway, and I think it's the micro sprints.
Interesting.
The micros are going to be free.
That's probably a good move.
There'll be a new rookie dirt class.
Oh, do you think they should split dirt between... No, I'm kidding. Between sprint cars and not? I don't think that's necessary.
There's a handful of tracks becoming free.
What are those going to be?
I forget the two. They're like obtuse tracks. None of the tracks are tracks I own. It's like Snetterton,
That's an okay
Lebanon,
track.
or Landon Castle Speedway, or whatever it is, and then like two other ones I can't. Like some fucking weird. Like
I could be losing my mind. I feel like one of the ones you said we don't have.
we're getting Portimao at some point. I think in the next build.
That's not a track I'm all that excited for.
There's going to be like a NASCAR refresh as part of the NASCAR console game. I guess they're going to update
that was the thing,
all the tracks.
The career mode thing I
shit.
saw him talking about sounded interesting, but I don't know that that's something I super care about, but it's cool for the people that want it.
That's not even going to come until next year.
Yeah, them even talking about it's kind of a cool thing.
Why is Jimmy Johnson sponsored by Creed? Why are they relevant now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that Creed. Like I saw a picture on Twitter today of him with the band, and I'm like, was this 2004?
Any oval news? Are we... I swear there's an oval that we're supposed to have that we don't have. What the fuck? My brain just spaced on. Are we getting Portland?
I have not seen anything about Portland.
Are we getting St. Petersburg?
I wish.
I feel like there's, besides Toronto, another IndyCar track that we're missing. Oh, Detroit.
Oh, the Misano World Circuit Marco Simoncelli. Whatever is coming in the next build or some shit.
We've really gotten down to like the European circuits that I just have driven in other sims and never liked enough to remember them.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Like there are tracks I'd like to see added.
Oh yeah, the SRX car.
Yeah, is that coming in the build?
I guess, yeah, it's gonna be a D class.
Is it gonna be
It has
free?
both pavement and dirt tracks on its schedule. I don't know, but I feel like with the recent
Death of SRX?
right, it's like this is a little bit late.
Just like our global rallycross tie-in.
I guess they're updating, making changes to the UI, both in sim and the
Interesting. There are some things that,
UI
like,
menu, navigation menus.
There's some things in the in-game UI that really could use some tweaks.
3D curbs.
Yeah, they're adding that to more tracks. I'm trying to think, like, I can think of some European tracks that we really need that aren't Misano and Portimao, some of those fucking, you know, sterile tracks that don't stand out to me, like Thruxton. If you've never seen a lap around Thruxton, go look that up. That's a fun track. And where's the Avus ring?
About that.
Like, it's not a good track, but where's Paul Ricard? Where's Monaco? Where's Poe? Where's Rems?
Where's my goddamn night racing at goddamn Atlanta?
Do we still not have lights at Atlanta?
No.
I thought we had lights at New Atlanta, but not Old Atlanta.
We don't have lights at either Atlanta.
Can we get lights at Old Daytona?
At Old Atlanta?
Although, frankly, the only reason I want lights at Old Daytona is to be able to do old 24 hours of Daytona before they pave the entire world out there. Well, the leaders have caught a lapped pack. This is going to get interesting. Aaron is pitting, so yeah, they can't make it. Interesting. Inside 20 to go, and Aaron Cummings comes to the pit road right after they catch a pack. That leaves Frank Womack by himself in a pack of lap cars. Which is oddly probably the biggest pack on track.
New Camrys look like a Dodge Dart from like 2016.
Yeah, they're... I don't know that they look like a Dart, but yeah, I don't know if I'd like them. Oh, here comes Frank Womack to the pits. I think that means everybody's going to have to pit, but we'll see what happens. Whoops. Lead change. Adam Beresford leads as he continues to lap the circuit.
Coming to start lap 10, it's Eric Jones, Martin Truex, Daniel Suarez, first commercial break.
How many cars are being eliminated by the duels?
I don't know.
How many cars? How many cars are entered? How many cars are in the duel?
I don't know. I just know Jimmy Johnson might be eliminated.
From life?
Yes.
What's this news with Christian Horner, by the way?
I have no fucking idea.
Like, I keep seeing headlines that insinuate that like he diddled a kid or something.
I think you need to do is paint some goddamn pit boxes.
Yeah, I did at one point, but then didn't like them and threw them all away.
Turn them off then, fuck it.
Yeah, they look
We're in the
weird.
Bonanza series, they can't afford pit boxes.
It looks weirder when I turn off. What I need to do is just get a series of multicolored ones and just import random ones for each car, so at least they're different colors instead of just the generic pit box, but I've never gotten around to doing that.
Correct. EA Sports put out a teaser for College Football 25.
They put Madden on Game Pass.
Oh, good. Then you can pay as much as it's worth.
Nothing?
Correct.
Let's see. How did you enjoy the owl?
The owl?
The superb owl.
Fuck is that?
Okay, go into Google and type in superb owl. Or anything where you can write and type, and then you'll go, oh, you fucking asshole.
The Super Bowl?
Yeah, the superb owl.
Uh-huh. It was a football game. The over-under was 46.5 points. I bet the under, and there ended up being 47, so that didn't work.
Yeah. I liked the confusion about the overtime rules there at the end.
Correct, because the NFL has new overtime rules, and then
these
they
rules
have
are
new,
better
new
than
overtime
these
rules.
are better than the rules that they had
Just for the
before, but
playoffs.
like I don't. It would have been nice for CBS to inform us that that 15 minutes wasn't all they got, because I saw a lot of people freaking out about that.
Right, that's
until
what I
Jim
was
Nantz
saying.
finally said something.
Well, they didn't say anything on the Nickelodeon broadcast.
I forgot there was a Nickelodeon broadcast. That's why some people are really confused. They weren't watching the broadcast with competent commentators. Instead, they were watching VTubers of SpongeBob and Patrick. Oh, God. Try to call a fucking football game.
Yeah, that's what we were watching on. We were all watching Nickelodeon.
Of course you would. You are a bunch of children, after all.
I mean, I didn't really care about either team, so I figured, let's just watch a Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I didn't really care. Like, my sister's a Chiefs fan, my dad's a Niners fan, so it was like, well, one way or the other, someone in the family would be happy and someone else would be pissed, just like, you know, in 2020, right before we got COVIDed.
Kind of had to laugh at it, too. It's like, there's a fucking minute to go in the goddamn game, and the Chiefs are, like, on the goal line or whatever, and they're going over graphics of how to pronounce Kyle Usage.
Okay,
like,
that's the time for that?
Right, I'm like, can we talk about the game? Like, I get this is for kids, but, like, if I was 8 years old, I'd be like, get this shit off my screen.
What'd you think of the commercials?
Well, it was Nickelodeon, so I didn't see any commercials.
Oh, you got different commercials, too?
Yeah, they were just, like, regular Nickelodeon commercials, like...
Weird, because there was a really terrible one for Robert Kennedy.
Yeah, I didn't see any of the CBS commercials. I watched like the first part of the first quarter on CBS, and then we were like, "Oh
I'm
shit,
about
it's
to
on
ask an
Nickelodeon."
important question. What halftime show did you get?
Usher and a bunch of other people I'd never heard of.
Okay, so I was expecting Nickelodeon broadcast was going to be the one where they actually did the SpongeBob halftime show. So I only recognized one person the whole halftime show. And I recognized him because I've seen him in a movie. A really bad movie at that.
Okay.
It was Ludacris. I'm like, oh, it's Ludacris. I've seen him in a Fast and Furious movie.
Ha 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 ha.
I have no idea who the fuck Usher is or who anybody else in that show was.
Usher was like the shit in 2005.
If you say so.
No, actually, the halftime show did not get very good reviews. I saw. Like, I don't even really know any of the songs. I knew like fucking one or two songs.
There was like one bit of music like, oh, I've heard that somewhere in like a commercial or something, and that was about it.
I wonder how much longer we're gonna go until we just get rid of the duels.
Well, that's why I was asking how many cars were in the duel.
20.
Then no one's getting 21, so one car is getting eliminated from each duel?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, see...
I think it's either going to be Jimmy Johnson or J.J. Yaley.
You know what we need to do? Because did we have more cars trying to qualify for the Xfinity race than we're going to get to start?
I haven't seen the entry list yet, so I don't know.
You know what we do? We'll do a multi-class duel. We'll do the qualifying race for all 3 races at the same time. Fuck it, all 4 races. Throw the ARCA cars out there.
Yeah, we'll put all the go or go home trucks, Xfinity, Cup, and ARCA cars, and we'll just take the top 5.
And put them in the truck race.
Odd. Scary part is that those Cup cars, the trucks would probably drive away from them. We were faster at several races of the Cup cars last year. We were faster at Gateway.
That's weird. But
That's
that wasn't the same weekend though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. For some reason I was thinking the trucks were companion to IndyCar that week.
No, not. They used to be companion to IndyCar, and now they're companion with Cup. IndyCar is its own deal. We don't have any companion races with IndyCar this year, which kind of sucks. It was kind of cool last year. I think it was Texas.
And I thought there was another. I think the other one though was like a weekend where, no, it was a Cup and IndyCar companion, wasn't it? At Indy, wasn't it?
Indy Road, yeah, it was Indy and
Indy Road.
It was Indy and Xfinity. I remember because I was waiting for the Xfinity race to start, or we ran like a spot and we did like Cup practice or Xfinity practice or whatever, and I had like 4 hours to kill, so I walked around the entire infield in Indianapolis, was taking pictures and watching the Indy race, then just went up in the stands and watched like the last 10 laps. It was pretty cool. I guess I could say I went to the IndyCar race at the Indy Road Course 2, the second race there last year. What the hell is his name? Got Dixon wins, so that was cool.
I really don't think Aaron's going to be able to beat Frank here. This 48 car has been so strong since its duel that something will have to happen to him. Exactly. And with just the 2 of them, there's like so little that he can do.
We ran the week after IndyCar at Mid-Ohio, and then this year we're running the week after them at Milwaukee.
It's weird that those aren't companions.
I mean, I guess because they're running a doubleheader at Milwaukee, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I guess so.
But we don't even have a full practice. ARCA's there too, I guess, so maybe that would have been too much. But this year we don't even have a full practice at Milwaukee. It's a 20-minute practice.
That could lead to an interesting race.
The only full practices we have this year are Daytona, Phoenix, and Wilkesboro, and then it's only
yes,
Wilkesboro
Daytona, the place you
it.
definitely needed it.
Right, I watched Chuck practice tonight, and it was probably the most boring 55 minutes of racing I've ever watched. I'm like, we went out and ran like 3 laps, and changed tires, ran another 3 laps, changed tires, ran like 2 more laps after we cooled the motor down, and then fucking, that was it.
We are now lapping cars in the top 10, inside 10 to go.
20 laps in, Stenhouse, Eric Jones, Truex, Jimmy Johnson. Corey LaJoy just got put in the middle and went from like second to 18th.
Second to fucked.
Could be coming up on pit stops here shortly. I'd assume most guys are going to split this.
Alright, Aaron, you're gonna size him up all day? You got an idea.
Daytona 500 tickets, $50. It's going to absolutely pour sideways all day Sunday.
I'm kinda okay if it wants to rain all day Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Oh.
Because then I get to watch the race live on a... Well, I might get to watch it at work if it's on, because they got us, like, TV for fucking Super Bowl, and then just, like, yeah, no, this is the thing we have now. So, maybe? I don't know.
We have satellite at the shop, so we'll definitely have it on and watch it while we're working Monday.
We haven't had any sort of TV in the office since, like, 2 months into COVID, when they decided to stop paying the bill. Like, I can't really fault them there, but still. Alright, 5 to go, Aaron. Time to make a move. I don't think that was the move, Aaron. Oh, maybe it was. They just got blocked by Scott Drake. Aaron Cummings takes the lead. Oh, Ben Frank's gonna power right back past him at start-finish. I think this 48 car might be due for a nerf before we even get to California. Tony and his whack-ass ratings.
Tell me about it.
Like, there are cars that were top 20 in points last season in Bonanza that he put in tier 6. Which means that they are so slow that they make, like, I think fucking, John Hussey would out-qualify some of the cars that are in this race. Good thing he's not in the series anymore. Then Tony would have to create like tier 8 or something, so he was slow enough for his taste. 3 to go. I don't know if these leaders are going to catch anybody else. There's a pack ahead of them, but that pack actually, like, seems to be doing okay. It's actually gaining time, but they're 40 seconds back, so they're not going to get there in 2 laps. It looks unlikely that they're going to catch anybody, so it's going to come down to a one-on-one duel between Frank, who just seems to be able to drive by everybody, and Aaron, who's just sort of hanging on for dear life, it feels like. Maybe if he ducks to the inside into turn 3 on the last lap, he can do it, but I'm doubtful. White flag, here we go.
Coming up on halfway, it's Ricky Spinhouse and Martin Truex Jr.
Not to be confused with Martin Truex Sr., who, you know, well-known Cup driver.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., well-known podcast host.
Alright, they're 3 and 4. Aaron didn't get a run. I think that Frank Womack is going to win the Daytona 300. Checkered flag in the air. Yep, Womack's going to win it over Aaron Cummings. Let's
Yay.
look through the field to find the battle for fucking third.
And now we wait for 6 hours for third place.
Well, Mark Guthrie's in a pack with nobody on his lap, so Mark Guthrie's going to come home third unless he blows up here off of turn 4.
So much longer, the old narrator got tired of waiting, so they had to hire a new one.
A little bit of argy-bargy behind him for positions a lap down. Mark Guthrie comes home third. Adam Beresford's racing with a lap car. He's going to come home fourth. And Bernard Persson caught the lap car in the right spot to get away from Stephen Davis to get himself fifth. Side by side for seventh. And it's going to go to JT Armstrong. Final running order: Frank Womack, Aaron Cummings, Mark Guthrie, Adam Beresford, Bernard Persson, what a name, Stephen Davis, JT Armstrong, Joe Mersdorf, Ron Stout, and one lap down, Nigel Ramaswamy.
Yeah, you want to talk about names? I got an Amber Alert during lunch today for a 5-year-old named Dream Peoples. Dream Peoples was abducted. I was like, yo. Alrighty
Interesting.
then. At 29.
Broderick Whitman was 11th, and Patrick Calgle, Rains, Tonto, Stephen Lowe, Joe Polson, Dave Daniels, Ramondre Diggs, Mike Carroll in 19th, Ken Joint came home 20th, and Kevin 21st.
Yay.
30 cars finished the race. 2 of them were 6 laps down. I don't think Ben White is going to stay in the top 20 in points with a performance like that where he was a rolling roadblock.
Roadblock.
I guess I could do points. They'll be fairly self-explanatory, but...
Yeah, without stages.
Well, you know, there is the... I apparently haven't created the 2024 season yet. Which is weird, because I swear I had, but whatever.
Just past halfway.
Yeah, I'll pull that up here in a second.
Still Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Larson, not Jr.
I have a weird hunch that Frank Womack's going to be the points leader.
Yes.
Given that I think he also led the most laps.
Double gasp.
I'm in May. I'm in Dallas, Texas. Hollywood. Yeah. I ain't asking for much. Thank you, Yukos, for that. I try to copy a link to something, and it, there we go. Hey, would you look at that? Frank Womack is, in fact, the points leader. By 10 points over Aaron. He has so far led 56% of all the laps for the season. Weird. Alright, well, thank you race fans for watching